everyone. Welcome to Zenith. I hope you all are doing great in life. Today's video is about West Bengal Teacher Eligibility Test. As we all know that WBTET is finally happening on 11th of December this year. So all of us are very much willing to sit for this examination. So in this video, I will be talking about the entire syllabus of this examination, some of the strategies should be followed, and a structured content and number distribution. So let's get started. So this entire test will be based on multiple choice questions. Each question will be carrying 1 mark with 4 alternatives, out of which one answer will be correct as per the following distribution. So you can see there are 5 contents or 5 categories. First one is child development and pedagogy. Here you will be having 30 questions and you will be having 30 marks for this. Next is language one. Under this, you can choose any language out of this preferences, Bengali, Hindi, Udiya, Telugu, Nepali, Santali or Urdu, any one out of your preference. The same pattern follows here too. 30 questions will be there and 30 marks will be there. Third one is language 2, which is English. The same number, the same marks and the same question pattern are to be followed. Fourth one is mathematics and fifth one is environmental studies. So total you will be having 150 questions with 150 marks. One thing you should remember, or one thing you should keep in your mind, is that within this language and mathematics and environmental studies, you will be having their pedagogy too. I mean, with Bangla, you have to learn Bengali pedagogy. With English, you have to learn English pedagogy. In mathematics, you have to learn mathematical pedagogy with this subject, and the same thing for environmental studies too. So this is a very vital thing that you needs to keep in your mind. So let's get into the syllabus. So within child development and pedagogy, there is child development. Under child development, there are principles of development, growth, maturation, difference between growth and development, heredity, socialization, Piaget theory, personality, intelligence. Then under concept of inclusive education and understanding children with special needs, there are addressing learners from diverse backgrounds, including disadvantages, then addressing the talented, creative, differently abled learners with SLD, and addressing the needs of children with learning difficulties, a type of learning disabilities like dyslexia and other stuff. Under learning and pedagogy, there are concepts of child-centered, learner-centered, progressive education, Bloom's taxonomy, then micro-teaching, teaching skills. So there are many things. Today, I will be talking about this child development, and I will be talking about development growth and the difference between growth and development. So, development first, development. What is development, right? Development. So, development basically refers to certain changes that occur in human beings or animals between conception and death. It is basically a process that includes growth, maturation, and learning. But there is a difference between growth and development. Development is a process that includes growth. That's true. But growth is something which denotes in size, length, height, and weight, and also in cognitive aspect. Like, so growth is growth is very much into physical physical attribution and cognitive attribution. But development includes this all into it. So under development, there is growth, and growth signifies physical attribution and cognitive attribution too. Now, let's talk about stages of development. So, under this, there are three stages. First one is early childhood, which is from uh, 2 to 6 years. Second one is later childhood, which is 6 to 12 years. Third one is adolescence, which is from 13 to 19 years. So, in early childhood, children like to do work independently. Like they do not like anyone to intervene in their own world or own work. Sometimes they show aggression, disobedience. So, at this stage, actually, the children are ready for school and they attend preschool, play school, they play with toys, they make friends. In later childhood, this is a stage where children tend to devote more time to their peer group than their parents because uh, they are very much into, they go to school every day, they meet new people, they make friends, and those friendships sometimes become very intense. So in this stage, children are children are more comfortable with their peer group than their parents. And in adolescent stage, it is a very tough stage for a child to bear, because in this stage children face many social, biological, and personal changes. These changes make them a I mean make their phase a bit difficult to manage. Some people call this stage as a stage of stress and storm. Actually, in this stage, children go through identity crisis sometimes, because uh, they sometimes do not know what to do. Sometimes they feel like kids. Sometimes they feel like I am growing up. So it's a very haphazard kind of stage for a child to bear. So these are the stages of development. Then let's talk about types of development. So there are physical development, personal development, cognitive development, social development, and moral development. Physical development is quite clear to understand because this development denotes changes in height, weight, this kind of like height, weight, or changes occur in the body. So this is a physical development. Next, personal development. This development is under like how individuals individual how we explore our individual personality changes. This is personal development. Cognitive development is something, the ability to think, reason. This is actually known as cognition, and the development of these abilities is known as cognitive development. Okay. Now, social development. Social development is very much related to family, school, and community. And one more thing, emotional development is a vital part of emotional development is a vital part of social development, because social development can also be understood, I mean emotional development can also be understood as social development, as it develops with reference to social life. So this is very much important. Emotional development is very much important for social development. And moral development is something where we we understand or we learn how to cope up with difficulties, how to cope up with hard things or conflicts in everyday life, and move ahead after resolving them. So this is moral development. Now the vital part or the important part uh, we need to learn is the relationship between development and learning. Or the difference between these two. So, since development domains are like cognitive, affective, which can be understood as knowledge, attitude, or self and skill, are interlinked, and change in one domain affects the other. So, this is development, and learning is associated with development. So, development is something we get or learn. Development is something which is associated with everyday life, right? Learning Learning is a process which get influenced by development. So development is a wholesome thing. Like development is associated to physical attribution and cognitive attribution at the same time. But learning is a process which which gets influenced by development. And one more thing, the difference is development can be measured. You can measure development, but you cannot measure learning. Learning is something which is, you can only act, assess the learning. Learning happens within assessment. So this is the difference between development and learning. You need to know about this well. Development can be measured. You can measure development because development is physically implied, and also cognitive way. It also, like, development is also a cognitive stuff. I mean, uh, you can develop your mind, you can develop your height, you can develop everything, but learning is something you have to uh, experience through your past experiences, through your progress, through everything. So learning is very much into, or within, learning is very much associated to experience, and it is counted as assessment. But development, can, you can measure development. So this is the difference. And relationship is the first one which I have just written. So these are the things about today's video. In my next video, I will be talking about the reciprocated topics of development and other concepts from child development, I mean child development and pedagogy. And then we will be talking about English and Bengali and mathematics and environmental studies. These are for now. In next video, I will be talking about other topics.